Welcome back to the dojo, y'all. Welcome back to the daily discussions. I'm your host, Professor Hawk Sensei, and I'm glad you're tuning in. I'm glad you can make it. I appreciate that. The topic of discussion for today: if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Yes. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. What you mean, Hawk Sensei? I got you. Usually when you say if it ain't broke, don't fix it, it's usually a euphemism or a play on words that's really just saying leave it alone if it's working just fine. You don't need to change anything if it's doing what it needs to do. You may want to make something better or enhance it or make it more efficient. And in the process, you may ruin the whole thing. That's why we have the phrase, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You could use this term like if you're in class and the teacher forgot about the homework and then someone yells out, hey, you forgot about the homework. And everybody goes, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. We was chilling before you said something about the homework. Asshole. But anyway, that was me trying to crack a little bit of a joke. But look, right, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. It applies to more than just things being broken or in disrepair or possibly could be made more efficient. It goes beyond that. Sometimes it goes to us and the people around us. You know what I mean? I made a video not too long ago that talked about this particular subject. I don't even remember what the name was. But another video I want to highlight that this would kind of be a part two to is imperfect perfection. But this is more so the human perspective when it comes to imperfect perfection. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. The way God makes us, He makes us all perfect in our own way. What does that mean? That means that we're not meant to be perfect. And because of that, we are perfect. Right? It may go over your head, but walk with me. If we were perfect, there would be nothing for us to do. There would be no improvement. There would be no learning. There would be no growth. So, we're imperfect in our own sight, but perfect in His design. His ways are not our ways. Our thoughts are not His thoughts. Everything God made was good. Even though man's heart is evil, everything God made was good. Now, that was kind of a tangent, but let's get into the subject. Let's get into the subject matter. What we really talk about: if it ain't broke, don't fix it. We have people now who are not happy with the way God made them. And they want to change their appearance or change their sex, so to speak. That's really not possible, but if you want to do it in an aesthetically, go ahead. If you're an adult, kids shouldn't be allowed to, you know what I mean, go through with that. But that's not really the focal point. The focal point is if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Things that are good as they are, leave them alone. Leave them alone. There's a lot of things in this world that man has tainted because they wanted to make it better. You know? Most of the things that nature gives us, they're perfect in their own right. They don't need to be made better. Anything that happens in nature, it's happening naturally. We're not really supposed to disturb the natural order of things. So when you try to fix something that ain't broken, that's exactly what you're doing. You're disturbing the natural order. So what is disturbing that? That's chaos. You're introducing chaos where it's not needed or warranted. You want to throw a wrench when all the cogs in the machine are functioning just fine. You in a relationship, right? And you want to enhance your relationship by adding another person to the mix. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I heard that always ends bad. I wouldn't know. But yeah, right? When we talk about if it ain't broke, don't fix it, you gotta realize when enough is enough. You gotta realize when well enough is well enough. You gotta realize when something is fine just the way it is. At times when we feel like we need to change something or we need to put our 2 cents in. Sometimes your opinion ain't necessary. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it. A lot of times we got the message or we got the answer that we needed, but somebody else wants to chime in and feel like they spicing it up some or really revealing or showing something that nobody knew. You know what I mean? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. If there was a teaching moment and everybody was taught, let it be what it is. You know what I mean? Let it be what it is. Another thing I see, right? People try to copy other people. But in the midst of them copying other people, they try to do them better than they are. And that don't really make sense. You're trying to fix a persona that ain't yours by trying to improve it or make it better. Now, it's possible to do that with things that aren't people, like video games. Like there was a game, what was it, Angry Birds. Like the real origin of Angry Birds, like the idea came from some other completely different game, right? But that game, it wasn't exciting. It was like it took place in like a medieval setting. It was like castle tower defense or something like that, where you would like take like a trebuchet or something like that, catapult, and you would launch boulders or rocks or something and try to disrupt the enemy strongholds and stuff like that, instead of just shooting birds into bricks and wood and glass and stuff like that. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. But what they did there, right? They took an idea and they made it better. They changed it. They enhanced it. It still was the same thing, but it looked like something else. It was more visually appealing. And I can attest that I really enjoy playing Angry Birds. You know what I mean? But we never knew about that game that came before it. Why? Because they did something. They enhanced it. They made it better. It made it better. Now, if that game was as good as it could have been, or, you know what I mean, exciting as Angry Birds, we would have never heard about Angry Birds. That's the parallel to if it ain't broke, don't fix it. If there's something you see that you can maybe make it better or enhance it, do that in a different arena, or do that separate from whatever's going on over there. You know what I mean? Make a whole new thing. You can use ideas to build upon and get inspiration from other things. You see it in anime all the time, and you see it in movies too. You know what I mean? But what I really want you to do is figure out what doesn't need to be done. Figure out what doesn't need to be done, what doesn't need to be changed. Right? Because a lot of times we can be a whirlwind of activity just doing things that don't even need to be done, but we feel like we did something just because we did that. No. Everything you do should make sense. Everything you do should make sense. So don't do things that don't make sense. That seems simple. Don't do things that don't make sense. But no, it's not. Don't do things that don't enhance or make your situation better. Don't do things that don't improve your life. Or don't do things that don't give you a better quality of life or give you a momentary better quality of enjoyment or experience, whatever. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. It transcends just material things. It could be your mind, the way you think about things, or the way you feel about things don't need to be changed. You might be right exactly where you need to be in your mentality and in your spirit, but you could allow other people to change and influence you to be something else. If you good where you're at, you know what I mean? You're doing okay for yourself. But you got all these other people giving you ideas and gassing you up, trying to convince you to do this and do that. No, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. If you doing good, you know what I mean? And you don't feel like the suggestions and advice that other people are giving you will give you any leg up or advantage or facilitate your living experience, leave that alone. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Now, if you want to enhance something or change something, that's really not even fixing it. You trying to take things to another level. You know what I mean? You're not saying something, oh, this thing ain't as good as it was when it came out the box, so I need to fix it. I need to change it to my liking. Because if you fix something, that's really what you're doing. You're trying to alter it to your liking. You know what I mean? Like when you say, this person's troubled, but I think I can fix them. They may be a broken person, right? They may be a broken person. But there's somebody out there who probably appreciates the brokenness that they have. It might sound weird. There's somebody out there for everybody. True indeed. There's somebody out there for everybody. And I talked about trying to change people in another video. Yeah, accept it for what it was. That was actually one of my better videos. That video got highly viewed, and I don't even know what it was. But maybe what I said just really resonated with people and they wanted to share it around. You know what I mean? That accepting things for what it is. You know what I mean? You can't be trying to change everybody and change things to your liking. You gotta accept things for what they are. You know what I mean? Because when you try to change things, you ultimately are changing yourself. That's what's going on. All the energy and ideas, resources, whatever you expend in trying to change something or a situation, you ultimately just end up changing yourself. That's what that whole meaning, there is no spoon. When you watch The Matrix and the kid was telling Neo, he said, it's not really the spoon that bends. It's really only yourself. And I think I may make another video on that. There is no spoon. But you know what I mean? Like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Don't. You gotta recognize when stuff needs to be left alone. You don't need to tamper with it. You don't need to bother with it. Recognize when something is good as it is and leave it be. Sometimes we like to stick our nose in situations. We like to put our 2 cents in. You know what I mean? We want to share the work when only one person needs to do it. Like, it don't take 5 people to screw in a light bulb. You know what I mean? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. It only take 1 or 2 people. Somebody hold a ladder, somebody go up there. You know what I mean? Depending on how high it is. You know what I mean? It don't take a whole lot of people to do. You know what I mean? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. We don't need a whole bunch of people to do this one little thing. We don't need a whole bunch of ideas and influences to get this one little task done. So when we talk about if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Learn when to just leave stuff as it is, man. Learn when to leave it alone. Learn when to hold them and learn when to fold them. Y'all be out here doing too much and trying to impress too many people. You know what I mean? That's another thing. Like I said before, you're made to be an original. There's never supposed to be anybody like you. You know what I mean? So when you try to fix your personality to be accepted, or you know what I mean, to be in the clique or the group, you know what I mean, you forsake yourself. Like, look at that recent situation with the young man from Southern University that pledged and ultimately lost his life. You know what I mean? He probably felt as though his life needed fixing. He probably felt like if he joined a fraternity, he could fix his life. But ultimately, he ended up ruining his life. And his story is going to be a cautionary tale for anybody who wants to pledge into those fraternities. You know what I mean? This ain't the first time we've seen tragedies from hazing rituals and stuff like that. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. How many people gotta go before we just say no to that stuff? You know what I mean? There's a lot of different things I could talk about when it comes to, you know what I mean, the Greek fraternities, but this ain't that discussion. You know what I mean? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. That stuff is nothing different than how gang culture is. Throwing up hand signs, you know what I mean, rituals, secrecy, people dying. So it's all I'm saying. Look, man, before I close the video, learn what you don't need to do. Learn what ain't necessary. Learn what don't need to be fixed. Learn what's fine as it is. Because the beauty in understanding that is you won't have unnecessary problems and issues in your life. I don't have a credit card. Why? Because I don't want to spend money that I don't have. I would be breaking my credit instead of fixing it. So for anybody who got massive credit card debt, man, my heart go out to you. It's going to be hard to fix that. But anyway, I hope this video shed some light on the importance of letting things be and letting life take its course. Because that's ultimately what we got to do out here. We can't change anything but ourselves. So, if you feel like you're broken, or if you feel like you're inadequate, or if you feel like you could do better, then that's what you should fix. There's nothing else you need to fix but to fix your lips to say the right thing. Fix your face to have the right attitude. Fix your heart to endure hardship. And fix your soul to face the Most High one day. That's the only thing you need to fix. If you ain't been messing up a whole bunch of stuff. With that being said, Professor Hawk signing out. Hawk Sensei bids you adieu. Hope you're waking up every day with a plan, purpose, and a smile. If you're not waking up with a plan, purpose, and a smile, hey, at least you're waking up, right? I want you to go ahead and like the video, because I know you like this one. Share the video, because we're not stingy. We're not selfish over here. And lastly, subscribe, because you came back too many times not to push that button. Till next time, y'all. Class dismissed.